debated including this or not, but Jordan said he was genuinely curious when I told him that Star Wars is done. He said, I want to know why you
I don't
said
keep
that.
up with anything. And I was actually just with, I was just helping some people with their roof because the roof is messed up. And so I'm over there and I have a little know-how now about this because of some situations I've had.
Yeah.
So the little kid was there, their son, and he just loved Star Wars. I mean, he knew everything. He was like telling me stuff. He's got all of his action figures.
Yeah.
Reminded me of us when we were kids.
Yeah.
And he was like explaining. He's a little kid, and he remembers everything about the movies. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what you're saying.
You know,
so it's sad to me to hear this.
yeah, my kids love Star Wars too. You know, not to the degree that our friend's son does.
Yeah.
But there are just certain movies. Willy Wonka is one of them.
Yeah.
They're proof that a movie doesn't have to be like
stupid
stupid 2020s kid movie with like fart jokes and just things all over the place. You know, it's just kids love. They'll talk about Willy Wonka all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They love that movie. Star Wars is the same way, and that's what makes me so sad to see this. I've not watched this show, The Acolyte, but literally, Jordan, all you have to know about this show is the showrunner of this show was the former personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein.
The what of the show?
The showrunner. She's like the director. She's like in charge of the show.
She had fun times with Weinstein?
No, she was the personal assistant to the Fun Times.
Oh, jeez.
And we're all just supposed to be like okay with this, I guess. She still gets to get work in Hollywood, probably because she knows things.
So she's running Star Wars now, or running the new movie?
She's running this show, which is like an 8-part series called The Acolyte. They've aired like 4 episodes so far, so it's halfway through. But
what's it on? Netflix?
No, it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, that's right.
And it is. I haven't seen any of it. You know, I'm just seeing like little clips going around, and so I'm completely checked out about everything Disney Star Wars has. The last thing I tried to watch was Obi-Wan because it was terrible.
Oh.
It was terrible. And that's what made me realize, like, if they can screw this up, right over the plate show.
Yeah.
Because it was just supposed to be a show about what happened to Obi-Wan between Revenge of the Sith and when he meets Luke as an adult. They completely ruined the show. They made it so that Obi-Wan had met Princess Leia as a child. So they had to kind of retcon and be like, no, don't tell anybody that we met if you ever, you know, because they don't know each other in the original movie.
Right.
So they have to be like, no, don't tell anyone that we met.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it was so dumb. And they made the Princess Leia as a kid like the main the main character of the show, even though it was Obi-Wan's show. And
that's bizarre.
God bless the child actor, but she was not very good. It was just the whole thing was awkward and dumb. It was stupid. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there. I watched it to the end just because I couldn't believe it.
Is it a movie or a series?
It was a series. It was supposed to be a movie, and they stretched it out into a TV show, and it was way too long. By the end, like by the second episode, I was like, "This is terrible." And now I'm just watching this to find out, like, what have they done? And so after that, I gave up. So now we're to The Acolyte, which is like 3 shows later, and anyways. But they're doing like freaky stuff now. Like, I want you to see this, and you tell me. I'm almost a little nervous to show this on. Really? On our channel, because this is truly creepy stuff.
This is a kid's show or an adult?
Who the frick knows anymore?
Power of 1, the power of 2, the power of many.
This just has this modern feel to it.
I know.
Power of 2, the power of many.
What the bleep am I watching?
They're like all witches. Like that's what they actually are in the show.
Star Wars made witches?
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't good.
Isn't that weird? I don't want to see that.
Yeah, that's like that's evil.
I know. That's how I feel. So they've had witches and stuff in Star Wars before, I guess, but this is like now it's on the TV show too.
They had this like in our
not on the good Star Wars, but like in other things. I don't know where. I don't know Star Wars. I don't know the lore enough. I just liked the movies growing up, and it's so bizarre to see what they've done. I really think most people watching the show now are just watching it to watch the train wreck. I don't think there's many people because it's not good. It's not good. Like it's like every Star Wars show is so sanitized down to like be this like Disney brand, but it's still trying to like be edgy and do this stuff. And so it just comes off of this weird sort of like super clean, but super gross at the same time, and super just
weird.
like corporate.
It like Star Wars had this feel to it. I don't even know how to, and everybody knows what I mean. You don't even the bad ones, like the ones like the Sith Lord and all this stuff, whatever it's called, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
and those Attack of the Clones, these ones, like even if those, I haven't watched those in so long, but like they all just had like a feel to it,
a Star Wars feel. Yeah, I know what you
when
mean.
I saw that, like just now, even when I would see clips of like the Mandalorian or whatever.
Oh,
it was
okay.
called, there's just something, or even the one with Rey. What was her name?
Oh, Force Awakens, like the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, there's just something about it. Just doesn't feel like it's the same thing.
Because it's not. It's not made by the same people. It's not made by any of the same people. It's made by a completely new people. George sold it off.
Which does he regret now?
He has made comments before the Acolyte started. He actually made some comments saying, "I don't think anybody else understands quite what the Force is or how it works or whatever."
Yeah.
And they're like doing this weird stuff. I won't get into all the details because people probably don't care, but they've done all this weird stuff like retconning things from Star Wars, like explaining different ways about how the Force actually works. It's and then like characters that shouldn't have been alive or like in the show. It's either they're just saying, haha, screw you guys, or they don't know. You know, it's like basic stuff that normie Star Wars fans would be aware of. I don't know. Anyways, but this isn't. It gave me hope because I think that this is critical mass now. I don't think that Star Wars can go much lower. I think that they've like completely killed the brand.
Yeah.
I don't even know if when the Mandalorian movie comes out, I don't know that people are gonna like be interested to see it.
I wonder if the only way to save it is if they just give it back to George Lucas.
Yeah,
somehow.
he just turned 80 the other day.
Are you serious?
He's getting older now, yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know, yeah, but the thing is, they can't sell Star Wars because they would have to sell it for a lot less than they bought it for. So it would be like an admission that they completely screwed it up and they just sold it to make some money. So they'll never do it. So Star Wars just belongs to Disney now. That little bit of like that we all had when we found out at first that Disney bought Star Wars back in the day, because you were like, oh, this could be cool. Disney actually makes stuff. Maybe we'll get some Star Wars stuff. But in the back of your head, you thought, what are they gonna do with it? This is what they did with it. This is what they did with it.
That's sad.
It's run by a bunch of like Hollywood elitist types now. At least George like hated the studio system. He hated Hollywood growing up, you know? Like that was part of the appeal of the man. But now it's just run by the machine.
I feel like it started to go bad when they started tinkering around with the lightsaber. It's a pure form. It's a pure symbol. For good and evil.
Yeah.
And then they started to like screw around with it and have like little blades come off the side that like make no sense. Like it was a, you know.
In what movie? What are you talking about?
Well, like the one with Rey and all and he's got his like stupid sword that everyone thought it was so cool, but it was literally just to like get spread around online to like look cool so that people would share the clips and stuff. I think that's just, I don't know anything about Star Wars, but I feel like that was the lightsaber was a symbol of good and evil.
What you're saying. Yeah.
And then they're like, how can we like tinker with this? It's like the already pure thing.
Yeah.
It's like, let's start adding stuff to it so that like kids like it again.
Well, they've kind of made the idea. This is one of the main things Disney did was they've kind of made it like the balance of the Force is like this balance of good and evil, versus like what George Lucas said was like, no, the balance of the Force is that evil took over and good had to get back in control.
They got to do middle of the road, Josh.
Yeah.
That's the demise of every human being.
Yeah. So, anyway, so it's kind of just fun to sort of be on the outskirts of this, not watch the show, but just kind of see the reaction from everybody. But it finally has gotten to where like even like mainstream outlets have kind of had to admit like, okay, yeah, this show is not doing well. It's not, because the first thing they want to always do is say like, this is just the toxic Star Wars fans. They're just a bunch of racist or whatever. Yeah, they're always calling everybody names or whatever. But it's gotten to the point where with this show at least that there's enough backlash to it that they've had to admit, okay, yeah, I mean.
Well, that's good.
This is just not good. So that's what makes me think maybe we've hit critical mass where they kind of just have to admit now, like, no, you guys screwed up Star Wars.
Yeah, it's like they say with the United States of America and their like infrastructure is just so amazing, but there's like not enough engineers in the country to build it back. If like it was all gone,
that's right.
We're just all running on fumes, like trying to. It seems like Star Wars, like they couldn't build it; they just hijacked it, and now they're trying to run it.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You buy a brand, you didn't build that brand.
Somebody bought the United States now, and they're trying to run it, and like we're not smart enough to have built it. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, this does remind me of that.
I'm curious what Star Wars will look like in 10 years from now. Because if you had told me 10 years ago this is where Star Wars would be, I would be like, man, I guess I could see that, but that is really sad. It's really come a long way and also come nowhere at all. And it's very sad. Anyways, I'll still show my kids the OG.
Sorry, Josh. I know this hurts you. I remember when Star Wars bought it and you were excited, but I could tell you were like worried about it. And you tried to give it a chance, and then I could see you slowly just backtrack and be like, "This is awful."
I think this was I've had a few things in life that have made me realize you don't need 1,000 of the same good thing. You can just have 3 of a good thing.
Imagine if they had just made 3, and then he made the other ones, Attack the Clones and stuff, and that was it, and that's all we had.
Yeah. And that would have been great because people didn't like the prequels as much.
Exactly.
So then they could just have that. But now it's like, this is what's really funny. Yeah. Now it's gotten so bad with Disney Star Wars that people are like, the prequels weren't that bad.
Yeah, that's
and now
what I'm wondering.
They've gotten a resurgence. So now people act like they like the prequels, which is funny. I haven't watched those prequels in so long. I couldn't even make a fair assessment. All I remember is on my birthday one year, Attack of the Clones was in theaters, and it was like the 3rd or 4th time we had gone to see it. I remember we were like sitting in the back of an empty theater, just laughing the whole time. That's all. So like anytime I am tempted to think maybe the prequels aren't that bad, I'm like, no. As a child, not as an adult, as a child before my brain was all the way developed, I laughed at this movie in a theater. So how could I, as an adult, say no? You know what?
Yeah, no, you can't.
It's a movie made for kids that made me laugh as a child.
Not good, not great.